Day that we're finally going to write the chapter that I've been putting off for a little bit. It's a travel chapter and they're not my favourite to write, and I know what they say, that if you have something that's boring to write, it's going to be boring to read, but no one is going to read my first draft, so that's okay. So obviously characters travelling from one place to another is a really good time for us to see our characters either build up stronger bonds or for those bonds to start cracking. And I've read some books where these travel scenes are really good. I've really enjoyed either the dialogue where the banter's really funny, or the tension's there, or you can see like some friendships starting to crack. They're really good, but they have to be done incredibly well. Otherwise it is just boring, and I'll be honest, I've skipped quite a few pages in books where these have gone on for too long. So I do try to keep it short, but I know, like I said, it's a really good time to build up our reader's relationship with our characters. It just takes a lot more of my mental ability to actually write them. I enjoy the fast-paced stuff. I find it much easier to write, especially for the first draft. It just kind of flows. But the travel scenes, it takes a lot more of my concentration, and I have to sit still in one place for longer than I'm normally able. So the plan for today is we're going to start the scene, try and get a rough idea of kind of where we're going. Then I'm going to go out. I need to get something for my outlining, finish that off. I know I've started the draft, but I do like to go back and just check that I'm on track and that any new ideas that have come up, I can kind of put it in. So now I am probably 30% through the book. I reckon it's a good time just to go back and get some of that outlining done. So that will give me a good break to leave my desk and then come back later and hopefully finish off. I really would like this chapter done today. So we're looking at about 2,500 words, something like that. I don't want to put a word count on it. I would just like the chapter done. So anyway, so that is the plan. Let's see how it goes. So one of the things that I really struggle with in a first draft is not going back to edit. So I have just gone back into the dungeons. I know we're meant to be on a travel scene, but I had to go back and check. And so this should be the most guarded place in Cullamore. It should be the most defended and secure area that would be almost impossible to not only get in, but definitely to get out. And then we have the whole magic system there. So obviously they're going to have incredibly powerful people guarding this place. And my tribe has just almost walked out with minimal damage. Someone might die. But in the grand scheme of things, it was way too easy. And I'm really tempted to go back and edit some of that. But I know, part of me knows I'm actually just delaying writing this travel part. And I have a full day today to come back and get this travel section done. So I'm using Scrivener, which I don't know if you guys know about, but it's got little notes on the side. So I am going to add a little note here that this exit is trash, needs to be redone. But yeah, it is tempting. It is tempting, and this is how people can get stuck in that loop of just doing their first draft. Okay, so I'm quite good at noticing now when my mind just isn't able to focus in one spot anymore. And I read something the other day that apparently if you have a low ceiling, it's really good for logical and factual thinking. But if you have a high ceiling or the sky, it's really good for like making up things. So I'm hoping that by going to somewhere with a taller ceiling, it's going to fix all of my problems. We'll see. Okay, so that actually went really well. I'm really pleased with what I've achieved today. It's just before 12 and I've already got 2,500 words done. So I'm really happy with that. The only thing that worries me slightly is my characters are actually still in the forest. And I was really expecting them to be at their destination by now. So that is concerning. And although some of my words are obviously going to be removed, it still needs a lot more description of some of the fight scene that happens in the middle. So that worries me. However, on a plus point, I'd forgotten that I'd laid some breadcrumbs earlier for a certain character to be able to find our protagonist. And so I've had her turn up, help with the whole situation, because later on in the story she's really important, and I don't want her to be one of those characters that looks like she's just been written in for that to take place. So this is really helpful with that and helps her seem like a much more part of the team. I think that was correct grammar, but anyway, we're going to go with it. So plus point, she's turned up. Bad point, we're still in the forest. But I did manage to get a good amount of words done, which is nice. And I think the end of it now, so now all this kerfuffle is finished, and they are on their way to the one of the rebel hideouts, that it can just be a quick, enough has happened now on this journey that we can actually just bypass the rest of it and have this next bit move quite quickly. So I'm actually pleased with how this has turned out. I also managed, while I was out, to pick up my novel outline booklet that I printed off, and so I'm going to go home and do that now.